Today, I am reviewing the MINISFORUM 880 MINISFORUM Plus mini PC. If at any time you'd like to explore this product for yourself and grab it at a great price, be sure to check the links below the video. If you have been looking for a way to get desktop-class performance without sacrificing half of your desk space, the MINISFORUM 880 MINISFORUM Plus is probably on your radar. I have been using this machine as my primary workstation for the last 2 weeks, and I have some thoughts on whether this Ryzen 8845HS powered box is actually worth the money or if it is just another overhyped mini PC. You can find the current pricing and more details on this specific model by checking the links below the video if you want to see if the configuration matches your budget. Right out of the gate, the performance is genuinely impressive for the footprint. The Ryzen 7 8845HS is a beast in a small package. In my daily workflow, which involves a fair amount of multitasking between heavy web browsing, video editing in Premiere, and some light coding, I rarely felt like I was being bottlenecked by the processor. The 32GB of DDR5 memory really helps here, and having that extra headroom is a big reason why this feels snappier than the mini PCs I tested a year or two ago. If you check the links below, you will see various configurations, but if you are doing anything beyond basic office work, I would strongly suggest sticking with at least the 32GB version I have here. Now, let us talk about the Radeon 780M graphics. This is the star of the show for anyone who wants to do a little gaming or creative work on the side. It is not going to replace a dedicated RTX 40 series card, but it is surprisingly capable. I was able to run some competitive shooters and less demanding titles at 1080p with decent frame rates. However, do not go into this expecting to play the latest AAA games at max settings. That is where the OCuLink port comes in, which is easily the most interesting feature of this unit. The inclusion of an OCuLink port is a massive upgrade over standard USB 4 or Thunderbolt for those who want to use an external GPU. Because it provides a direct PCIe 4.0 connection, you get significantly more bandwidth than you would through a USB cable. I tested this with an external dock, and the difference in performance stability for gaming was noticeable. It turns this tiny box into a legitimate gaming rig if you are willing to spend the extra money on an external graphics enclosure. Just keep in mind that the OCuLink port is not hot-swappable, which is a bit of a pain if you are used to the plug-and-play nature of USB devices. You have to shut the system down, plug it in, and restart it, which feels a bit archaic in 2024. Thermal management is usually the Achilles heel of these small form factor computers, and the 880 MINISFORUM Plus is a mixed bag. Under light loads, it is whisper quiet and barely noticeable on my desk. When you push the processor with a heavy render or a long gaming session, the fan definitely kicks in. It is not a high-pitched whine, more of a steady hum, but you will know it is there. I would recommend keeping the unit in an open space. I tried tucking it into a tighter corner of my desk setup, and the temperatures climbed faster than I was comfortable with. If you are planning to hide this behind a monitor, make sure there is plenty of airflow. The port selection is another high point. Having HDMI 2.1 DisplayPort and a full-featured USB 4 port means you can drive 3 monitors without needing a clunky docking station. I run a dual monitor setup, and the handoff between the displays is seamless. The 2.5 gigabit LAN port is a welcome inclusion for those of us who prefer a wired connection for large file transfers, and the Wi-Fi 6E performance has been rock solid during my testing. However, there are some trade-offs. The build quality is decent, but it is definitely plastic heavy. It feels solid enough, but it does not have that premium, dense feel of some of the more expensive competitors. Also, the internal layout is tight. While it is great that you can expand the storage with a second M.2 slot, actually getting in there to do the work requires a steady hand and a small screwdriver. If you are not comfortable tinkering with tiny internal components, you might want to buy the storage capacity you need up front rather than planning to upgrade it later. Value-wise, the 880 MINISFORUM Plus sits in a weird spot. If you just need a computer for web browsing and office documents, this is massive overkill, and you can save a lot of money by looking at lower spec models. But if you are a power user who needs a compact machine that can handle heavy multitasking and you are interested in the potential of external graphics via OCuLink, this offers a lot of utility for the price. You can check the current pricing through the links below to see if the value proposition makes sense for your specific needs. Who is this for? I think this is perfect for students, developers, or creators who have limited space but need desktop performance. It is also a great candidate for a living room media center that doubles as a light gaming console. Who should avoid this? If you are a hardcore gamer who expects to play at 4K resolution on ultra settings, you'll be disappointed. You would be better off building a traditional desktop tower with a full-size graphics card. Also, if you hate the idea of managing external cables for GPUs or dealing with fan noise under load, a larger, quieter system would be a better fit for you. Ultimately, the MINISFORUM 880 MINISFORUM Plus is a highly capable piece of hardware that punches well above its weight class. It is not perfect, and the OCuLink limitations are something you need to be aware of, but for the right person, it is a fantastic tool. It is reliable, fast, and remarkably versatile. If you are still on the fence, I recommend checking the links below to see the latest user reviews and current pricing, as that often helps clarify whether a product fits your specific workflow. It is a solid machine that does exactly what it promises, provided you have realistic expectations about what a mini PC can actually do.